Yo, what's going on, fellas? It's your boy SK or Sniper Killer. Uh, today this is our very first episode of Casual Takes by the number one MMA enthusiast in the world, and the number one Blood Strike player in the world, aka Sniper Killer, me. Uh, this UFC fight night, Tatsuro Taira versus Hung Sung Park, ranked 6 versus unranked. So this should be interesting. But the two people that are opening our preliminary card is Pierre Rodriguez and Ketlin Souza. I'm going to be 110% honest with you. No clue what either of them do or how either of them fight. I just know she's coming off of a win. That's a unanimous decision. She has 5 knockouts as well. This lady is coming off of a loss. It says it right there. They both have the same height. She has a little bit of a reach advantage and a little bit of a leg advantage. So I honestly think that Pierre Rodriguez is probably going to take this one, if I had to guess. Just for the fact that she's currently, I think, like, oh, no, she's, like, what is this? Let me look. In her last 5, she is 3-2. Coming off of a 2-loss streak. Well, she's coming off of a win, but before that was a 2-loss streak. And then Ketlin Souza, no clue what she's about, in all honesty. But I had Pierre Rodriguez winning via, I think I had it decision. Yeah, Pierre Rodriguez via decision. With that, honestly, very probably boring fight. We're going to be moving on to Rafael Estevam. Yeah, Rafael Estevam versus Felipe Buenas. Estevam is undefeated. Felipe is 14-7. Well, yeah, as I said, Estevam is undefeated with 13. They're both coming off of a win. They're both Brazilian. Estevam has the height advantage. He has, and actually, only the height advantage. They have the same reach, and then Felipe has the leg advantage. So I think that'll be making a very interesting fight. That is for sure. It seems that Estevam is known to either KO people or take him to a decision, because he is currently, let me go look. He currently has, with his 13 wins, 4 knockouts, 3 by submission, and 1 first-round finishes. So actually, it seems he's pretty well-rounded, though he has a lot of decisions under his belt. And then Felipe, well, Felipe is, it seems, the better grappler. He has two wins by knockout, 9 submissions, and 9 first-round finishes. I think that Estevam is going to be able to just, outwork Felipe in general, and I think I had him by knockout, actually. Yeah, knockout in round 2. Though I could see this one going to a decision because he uses his grappling to neutralize Estevam. But I have Estevam winning either way. Moving on. Austin Boshi versus John Giannis. Oh boy. So, Austin Boshi 13-1, John Giannis 9-3. Boshi is coming off of his very first loss, and Giannis is making his debut. Giannis has the height advantage. Boshi has the reach, and I guess Giannis is legless. Damn, but I guess we don't know. Boshi is known to be a good wrestler and good grappler. Pretty sure a good amount of his wins are by submission. Let me go make sure. Okay, so he has 3 wins by knockout, 5 by submission, and 3 in the first round. He's coming off of a loss to Rodriguez. No, that's. I don't know why I was thinking of her. But he's coming off of a loss to Rodriguez. I don't think it was by knockout or anything. Pretty sure it was just unanimous decision. So, yeah, unanimous decision. He lost to Christian Rodriguez. It seems he had some takedowns landed in that fight. He just got outstruck, and there was a lot more submission attempts landed by Rodriguez in that fight. So that could be a good thing for Giannis, though I know nothing about him. Just by his build here, I can probably presume he's a striker. He has that, that unk striker build, kind of like a D-Rod. He kind of looks like a little D-Rod. Yeah, these are featherweights. Yeah, he's like a mini D-Rod. But I have Austin Boshi taking that by submission. I think I said in the second round. But this is another one just like Rafael Estevam that I could see it going the decision. So I guess we'll have to see. Now, Nick Klein versus Andre Puliev. I actually watched Nick Klein come off of the Dana White Contender Series. Sadly, he lost his very first fight in the UFC, so now he is 6-2, while Andre Puliev is 9-3. They are both coming off of a loss, actually. Puliev coming from Russia, I'm assuming he's some type of sambo fighter, but it is the middleweight division, so who really knows? He could be a striker. I've noticed that a lot of the middleweight and light heavyweight Russian people really like fucking striking. So there is a slight possibility. Puliev is taller. Puliev has longer reach, but Klein has the better legs. Klein is also a good wrestler, but I don't know if that would be good enough to out-wrestle a possible Dagestani person with that kind of sambo background. Though I have Nick Klein winning via submission in round 1. Let's hope that goes through, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Klein lost this one via submission himself because, Puliev. But it seems here whenever you go to the win-by statistics, he may be a striker. He may be a striker. So I guess we'll have to see once it goes down to once it goes down the octagon. I don't know what else I'm trying to say. But moving on, we have Rodolfo Vieira versus Tristan Gore. I have Gore winning this fight, though I'll wait to explain it. We're going to go over the records and stuff. Rodolfo Vieira is 10-3. Gore is 6-3. They're both coming off of a loss. Vieira is from Brazil. Gore is from the U.S. They're both 6 foot. Gore is coming in 50.5 pounds bigger this fight. Gore has a longer reach, but Vieira, not Klein, has slightly bigger legs. Though I don't know much about Vieira, it seems he is a wrestler because, 90% sub. And Gore is known to be a striker. I'm pretty sure he has a couple knockouts under his belt within the UFC. So, this could be a very, very bad matchup for Gore, but I could also see him catching Vieira early on. Either way, Gore is early on in their career. Honestly, both of these dudes are 6-3, and being in the UFC is pretty wild, in my opinion. So they both do have some time to work on themselves. But I have Gore winning by knockout. I think he has that chance, that good chance to catch Vieira, either shooting a takedown or just anything in general, putting him to sleep. But I wouldn't be surprised if Vieira drags him to the ground, holds him there, or eventually catches a submission. On our main event for the prelims, we have Rinya Nakamaru versus Nathan Fletcher. Rinya Nakamaru is 9-1, Fletcher is 9-2, so they basically have the same amount of fights. They're both coming off of a loss. One is from Japan, one is from England. I'm glad to see more Japanese fighters emerging into the UFC, though they all are on the tinier side. It is nice to see that people are, it's just nice to see people that aren't from Ryzen or all these other places coming over and getting their way into the UFC and all that. They're both 5'7", both 135. Fletcher has a little bit better of a reach and a little bit better of a leg reach. I'm pretty sure. Let me go check real quick. I have, yeah, I have Nakamura by decision. I don't know much about either of these fighters, I'm going to be honest with you. But it is the bantamweight division, and a lot of the bantamweight prospects recently have been pretty good. Felipe Lima, Peyton Talbot, Ben Willmaker are just some of the names that come from the top of my head, and I'm pretty excited for this one. I think this is a good way to end off the prelims and slowly transition, into the main card. All right, next we have Danny Silva versus Kevin Valajos, or however you say the last name. I probably butchered it. Silva is 10-1. Kevin is 15-1. They're both coming off of a win. One is from Argentina, while Silva is from the U.S. Silva is 5'11". Kevin is 5'7". They're both 145.5. Uh, Silva has a little bit of a longer reach by 2 inches with a 70-inch reach, while Kevin has 68. And their leg reach is the same, with Silva having 39 inches and Kevin having 37 inches. Now, that could be a little bit of a problem here for Kevin, because the Silva has the longer reach, meaning he can use those jabs and those teeps and the body kicks and just pick at him. But Silva is also known to shoot takedowns. He has a 100% takedown. Oh, wait, no, he has a 100% takedown defense. My bad, I read that wrong. But he has a 46% takedown accuracy, though I think this may be... No, never mind, I'm completely tripping. It just seems Valajos just hasn't hasn't done a takedown once in his career. So, in all honesty, if Silva sees that he's having the upper hand on the feet, he might just keep it on the feet, and this could be a striking, it could just be a banger. So, I think this is a very solid way to start off the main card with Danny Silva and Kevin Valajos. Speaking of that, though, I'm pretty sure Silva. Oh, no, I have Valajos winning via knockout in round 2. I think Valajos is the favorite here, coming off of probably a knockout win. I haven't really checked, but if I had to buy these odds, it is probably a knockout win. It doesn't really show you here, but I have Kevin winning via round 2 KO. Next, we have Neil Magny, the gatekeeper, the number 1 gatekeeper, versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. What a mouthful of a name. Neil Magny is 29-14. Dos Santos is 25-9-1. Neil Magny is coming off of a loss to Carlos Prates, I'm pretty sure. Dos Santos, I have no clue who he's coming off of a loss from. Magny from the U.S., Dos Santos from Brazil. Magny has a very significant height advantage, in my opinion, coming in at 6'3", while Dos Santos is 5'11". Neil Magny is 171. Dos Santos is 171. Neil Magny has an 80-inch reach. Dos Santos has a 73-inch reach. Neil Magny has a 45-inch leg reach. Dos Santos has a 41-inch leg reach. I think that Neil Magny is going to beat Dos Santos by decision. I don't think he's going to be able to get a submission or knock the dude out, because, I don't know, it's Neil Magny. I don't think he's really... he's not really known for that, from what I've seen and what I've experienced. I've seen quite the opposite, where he's been getting knocked out, but I think that the experience and then the length will just play a part into his fight and help him overcome Dos Santos and get the W in the end and put him back in that win column and see if he can get back to the rankings to gatekeep some more. Moving on, next we have Carlo Rosa versus Nora Caroline. Rosa is 18-7. Caroline is 9-2. Rosa's coming off of a loss. Caroline's coming off of a win. Brazil, one's from France. 5'5", 5'7", 135, 137. And in all honesty, I kind of just picked a random one for this fight. I have no interest in these two. I think I've seen one fight before, maybe. But I just think this one is going to be your normal women's fight decision, and then we probably 2-1, 2-1 in some way, and then we just move on to the next one. So that's what we're going to do, move on to the next one. Now this one, I think this might be the people's main event, simply because Esteban Ribovics is an absolute monster. Elves Brenner, my fault. I haven't seen too much about him, but I heard he is pretty good as well. Well, as good as you can get. Brenner is 16-5. Esteban Ribovics is 14-2. Ribovics has fought at UFC 306. He came off of that war with Daniel Zuhuber, and then I think recently he lost. I'm not completely sure. Yeah, he did lose, but I'm not completely sure who to. Brenner's from Brazil. Ribovics is from Argentina. Brenner's 5'10". They're both 5'10". Ribovics is coming in a pound heavier this fight. Brenner has the reach advantage with 72.5 inches, while Ribovics has 69. And then Brenner has half an inch leg reached over Ribovics. I'm pretty sure I have Ribovics winning this fight via knockout, because I don't know, I think he's going to use that boxing and he's going to catch and chin Brenner hard. He proved in that UFC 306 fight that he has a lot of power, and honestly in his last fight, from what little I remember that I was able to catch, he has some pretty decent power in those hands, though he lost. He still hurt that dude. And I think that he's going to be able to catch Brenner in round 2 and put him out early. That's what I think. Now, moving on to the co-main event. We have Mateusz Rebecki, or I don't know how to say his name, and then Chris Duncan, the only other man from Scotland to fight within the UFC. Mateusz, I'm going to just assume that's how you say Mateusz. I don't know really how else you'd say that. He's 20-2, coming off of a win, while Chris Duncan is 13-2, also coming off of a win. Mateusz is from Poland. Duncan is from Scotland. Duncan has the height advantage here at 5'10", while Mateusz is 5'7". Oh. Mateusz has missed weight for their lightweight bout, coming in 4 pounds over the limit, but 5 pounds heavier than Chris Duncan. Now, that could be a problem for Duncan. I'm not quite sure, but Duncan does have the reach advantage in both legs and arms. So, I think that Duncan is going to be able to use his boxing that he's shown before in many of his other fights, and I think he could possibly squeak away with a decision, but I could see him getting a KO here, though it'd be really nice to see Duncan pull it off. Last but not least, Taira versus Hyung Sung Park, the main event for UFC Fight Night, whatever number this is, and then it's their name. So, Taira is coming off of a loss to Brandon Royval, the number 1 contender in the flyweight division, who has showed multiple times why he needs to stay there and why he's the top dog. Taira had a very, very, very good come up into the UFC, sweeping all of his opponents up until that point, and he did well against Royval. So I think that this dude is title challenger. I honestly think he could be UFC champion within a couple years once Pantoja goes. I think that he is one of the better talents in this division coming from Japan. With that being said, he is 16-1 coming off of a loss. Hyung Sung Park is 10-0 coming off of a win, stepping in on short notice for Amir Albazi, which takes a lot of balls because Taira is a very, very, very good opponent. They are both 5'7". They are both 125.5 pounds. Taira coming in with the 4-inch reach over Park, with a 70-inch reach, Park having a 66-inch, and then a 1.5-inch reach in the legs with 38, while Hyung Sung Park has 36.5. So, the way that I think this fight is going to go down, I think Taira is going to use that jab, use a little bit of good combos on the feet, and then get him up against the fence and either shoot a takedown or just control him there and then trip him. That is what he's known to do. He is also known to backpack. He really likes backpacking, so he may just hop on Park's back and take him to the floor. I think Taira is going to be able to pull off the submission within round 3. I think that Park stepping in on short notice is a very bad thing for him within this matchup, because Taira is such a dangerous and good opponent that he honestly has a lot of balls taking this fight. That I might have already said that, but he has a lot of balls because I don't know. I just think Taira is better here in general, but Park could get the upset, and that'd be pretty shocking to me. Oh, dude, I completely blanked on what I was going. But that'd be pretty shocking to me because, I don't know, Taira has just proved himself time and time again within the UFC, and proves he is a top contender for this division. So I think he's going to take the win via submission over Park, or just a very dominant decision. I don't see many people beating Taira. Alrighty, that was my picks for UFC Fight Night Taira versus Park. Casual takes, as it is called. So, please don't come at me in the comments and be like, "Oh, dude, you don't know this dude, blah 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 blah." Like no, I don't know the fucking dude on the early prelims of a goddamn Fight Night card. I really don't. So, spare me. But I think this would be a pretty solid Fight Night overall. I don't know if it's going to beat the last one, even though it was an Abu Dhabi card, so it might as well have been a pay-per-view. I don't think it's going to beat it, but I'm pretty excited for it. Make sure you all tune in tomorrow. I think prelims start at 6 p.m. EST, and then main card starts at 9 p.m. But that has been your boy, SK, or Sniper Killer, with his first episode of Casual Takes. And I will see you all either next week or whenever the next pay-per-view is, or whatever. Thank you all for watching, and please let me know down in the comments below who you want to win. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, leave it, and subscribe. I don't know why I was going to say leave a comment, but drop a like and subscribe. And please let me know if there's anything, like if the background music is too much or anything like that. I'll adjust it, and then just like opinions in general to get my production value or whatever up. But as I'll say one more time, that's been your boy SK, or Sniper Killer, and I'll see y'all in the next one, fellas. Goodbye.